Services. They're trying to find a location for a temporary bridge.
Main
First,
bridge?
and then, well, first they asked me, well, can we shut down? And I said, absolutely not, it's not an option.
It's not an option.
So then they said, what, I said, what are the other, they said they had a couple different options, and I said, well, what about a temporary bridge? And they said, well, we were talking about that, and then they talked about a temporary, possibility of a temporary bridge off Church Lane going over to Blackbrook and then coming down. I don't think that's a good idea. I think there's too many events up there. I think that you're creating a lot of traffic up through there. I told them my feeling was the bridge should be, temporary bridge should be over here, going across somewhere between Raj and Jamie Atkins' place in there to be an access temporary bridge. But I'm not an expert by any means of it. So I said, you know, you might wanna bring the highway superintendents and the supervisors and emergency services in, and so they're gonna come up.
Well, they can't do one side at a time, apparently.
Well, it could, but it's.
I don't know, if they didn't pour it all, I think if they get it under control, they would do it all in one shot.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
just-
they redoing new abutments and everything, the whole.
Mhm.
I think
Oh, yeah,
so.
the whole kit and caboodle on it, so. So, stay tuned. It certainly doesn't look like it's gonna happen till 2015 before it started anyways. It's not a 2014 project at this point, but it is one of the top priorities, so. Eventually, we're gonna, there's gonna be an inconvenience. Just like there's gonna be the new 2-lane bridge here, we're gonna have a temporary bridge going across, wherever the hospital clinic goes, there's gonna be an inconvenience. The drainage issue on Main Street, there's gonna be inconvenience, and everybody's gonna, unfortunately, it's gonna be,
A better place.
it is, in the end, and it's what happens. We're very fortunate that we've been
Hopefully it all
able
isn't
to.
following an election year.
Well, yeah, that's true, but honestly, in the long run, it's gonna benefit the town, but it's gonna slow a lot of people down because there's gonna be construction all over the place. And,
Shows that you're getting done, though, you get nothing done without making sense.
and bring bed tax, sales tax, because these people that are coming to do the work are spending money in our county, in our town, so. Okay, scoreboard fixed, Chris, you got that all fixed?
That's done.
Thank
Still
you.
got some extra lights, but I gotta remember where we got them.
Okay.
Got to fit me up, because we got enough to one more fix, but we're.
Okay, I think I might have a thing.
Can't remember where we got them.
I think I have that on there, so we'll appreciate that. New work orders, we already discussed. Johansson property we'll bring back up in March.
That's what is that a contingency on, if I find somewhere else, or?
Well, we're gonna, yes, look at other options right now.
Okay, okay.
Just look at other options. So regarding the long-term planning, for the site that they let us use on Alsable Drive for our sand storage. Discuss, Vandy Walker property, we already did that, we're gonna do that as soon as the weather's better and Chris's leg is better. Pay off principal amount of excavator from highway reserve account funds in the amount of $30,000. I had Susan double check the numbers today, we would need a resolution to do that, if you want to do that. Don't know if you do, but I think it's a good idea to get that one out of the way, we owe $30,000 on it, we have enough in the reserve account to do it, so.
We'll make that resolution.
Moved by Councilwoman Schulten, is there a second?
That's in the highway reserve.
Yes. I'll second it, for discussion,
Fair to everybody, Chris? How many things?
If we're looking for a truck, we gotta do
Well,
something.
just asking, I'd like to get your
That's-
opinion.
What's
How many things can be left?
On this, that would
That's
pay it
it.
off.
No, but if we don't pay it off with reserve,
We'd have to pay it at one more budget season, next budget, 2015's budget.
Is money still
pay
cheap
more
tomorrow
interest.
right now?
Well,
Yeah, but what.
problem is, you're looking at a truck.
I'm looking at the truck, that's why I'm
It's a
saying
huge
paying off
problem.
one off and borrow another one, that's the issue. So, further discussion? Roll call vote, Dee?
Okay, just a moment.
Yep.
Did we get a second on that, though?
Randy.
yeah, Randy did.
Okay, you did, that's right. Okay, roll call vote.
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shelton?
Yes.
Supervisor Douglas?
Yes.
Councilman Depot? Councilman Hall,
Yes.
and that's duly passed.
Okay, permission for Christie to go out to bid or purchase new truck on state contract. Chris, you wanna talk about the truck? Archie and I did go look at it, I'm not sure if anybody else
The
has.
truck
but-
itself has 200,000 miles on it, the subframe's broke, the piston, J2, Mikey's one, but yeah. The piston's collapsed, the arm's collapsed, it's one of those GI boxes that go back and forward. So when it came down hard and smashed everything underneath.
I thought his was one of the newer trucks,
Mikey's, no, Mikey
This
is
is old
different. This is an old truck.
Mike Mitchell's.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you were new.
He does have the new one.
This is his old.
The newer one. This is the old one somebody else was driving now.
Oh. Who's driving now?
Glenn-
That's how I know who's
Glenn was
driving.
driving it.
Oh,
You
Glenn.
won't recognize the truck. You can stop and look at it. I mean, you're free, I mean, but, I mean, that's where we're at. I mean,
Is this our oldest truck then?
it is one of the oldest trucks, yes, between that one and the one Chet drives.
Is this one that was rebuilt a few years back too?
No, this is the
That was-
last one that we did not rebuild. That we were still robbing parts from to keep going until that collapse happened.
So are we looking to put out the bid for a new truck now?
We can either put out the bid, or I got the state contract price right here on, I got, here's the truck and the equipment. That's on the state bid.
So when we get a new truck, are you getting a new plow and everything with it, or is the
Yep.
plow from that one, we go on the new one?
Well,
Or you just get on the,
I'm going all new.
Now all the add-ons are down for the price, or is that the total?
That's the total.
123?
Yeah. That's just the truck. The equipment, I think the equipment is, it's in there somewhere.
That's what it was asking.
Wait a minute, Jerry, I don't know if that's right, I'm sorry.
We're looking for a total. What was- Question. You're gonna like a file and a letter.
Right. Yes, 123,712, and the state contract price on the equipment is, 78,000. So it's the 78 plus the 123.
Chris, when you were asking about the rates on borrowing, were you, the rates of the interest we're earning on the 30,000 being is a lot less than, the bank is not paying us good interest on our money that we have in these reserve accounts anymore.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
and is that what you were getting at? I think
That
comparable
too.
to what, cause it just
You
hit me
know.
what I think you were getting at, that's all, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just, they're talking about, you know, in general, rates for borrowing are gonna start to be going up in 2015.
Mhm.
And just, if we have an old contract with a great rate, why not keep that money free, so you're not putting in for a new contract at possibly a higher rate.
I see what you're saying, yeah. We have a good borrowing rate too, they rate each municipality, and we have a good rate, as does the county. But so we get a lower interest rate, and, you know, I'm not sure what it would be right now, but we have, because of our rating from the comptroller that we weren't in fiscal stress, we get a much better bonding rate. But I've looked at the money, the interest that we're earning on all the money that we have in the reserve account is very minimal, nothing.
Yeah, nobody's making any money
How long are we
on
talking about
savings.
delivery on this?
Next fall,
Hmm?
next fall,
Next fall.
before winter.
I didn't know if it could even sooner if we went with the state bid instead of going.
It will come, I mean, right now, if we have to put it out to bid, we're talking at least another month and a half.
Right.
So, I mean, if we go with state bid, we can order tomorrow.
So I don't think you're gonna get anything better than state bid price. Bid. Chances.
So you're down a plow truck. for
We're
us
down
somewhere.
plow truck. We're actually down 2 right now, so, They got their hands
Somebody
full.
better tell it to stop snowing.
Yeah, well, that's why we have the state on notice too, that
They got their
Chris
hands
coming
full
there,
tonight.
that we can actually, and that's one reason why, you know, with the governor declaring the state of emergency is to cut all that red tape. If we get behind, or we don't want, actually we have to shut down our town, that the state can send us a resource to help without a lot of red tape, so.
So is this where the truck is not repairable, or you don't feel it's worth the money to repair it?
I'm afraid it's not worth the money to repair it. I'm afraid, I mean, we could put, it's roughly, well, you see the
$60,000,
equipment,
$70,000 to fix it.
$75,000 to fix it. And then you got $200,000 on a motor, and what happens if the motor blows next week?
We went, Archie and I went and looked at it, and I know nothing, as you guys know about trucks, I don't know anything about it, I know how to wreck them and that's it, so I don't. So, but they certainly they look bad to me, but I don't know, you know, you know more about it than I do, so and you do too, I mean, you guys, I just don't, but it looked horrible to me, but.
It's the extended warranty,
I'd have to read it.
doesn't say what it is.
Doesn't say.
Just says 400 per unit.
I can get a copy of it for you. If it's not
See what the
there.
warranty is on it.
I bought a $15 electric heater at Walmart and they offered me an extended warranty on it.
That's where they make their
I
money.
know.
What's that?
That's where they make their money.
Yeah, and that's where they make the money.
So, state contract, is this, did you pick this, or does state contract say that this is one they,
That's one on the state contract, that's one on the contract.
I'm not too familiar with how that works, so.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it's always the lowest price. It just means that one that the state has recommended and they've done the research on it and it, feel that the price that it's being offered for is a legitimate deal.
And it alleviates us from going through all the
Bidding
Bid
process.
process.
Just-
Yes.
yeah. Bid process is higher.
Because after they've done all the research for the year on the state contract prices, somebody else could come out with a new item that's similar to that and be a lower price, so it doesn't always guarantee that it's the lowest price.
Right now, we have three different designs at the highway garage. Three different designs of three different trucks.
It makes it
Means
tough.
three different, tons of three different parts. It makes it awful tough. And
Yeah.
if I can stick with something that's working and working well for the town of Jay,
Yes,
we have to have less parts on the shelf.
it's good, that's true. I
You
never
know,
thought
I mean,
of that.
and there's been board resolutions
Yep.
to standardize equipment,
Standardize.
which, and I didn't go that way because then people think that I'm trying to monopolize on one thing, but you know, it makes sense to,
saves money and all
yeah,
Yeah.
that. So this is one we already have,
this is the exact one we have,
it's just the newest one?
yep.
It's a beautiful truck.
Do you feel like you've had enough time to test it out in the field? That
Yeah.
we're not, it's not
Yep,
something that we're not really sure about yet?
yep, it's actually, something that's been in the field for a couple of years that another town has,
Great.
so we've been,
Somebody else got to be the guinea pig for
yes,
once.
work all the bugs out.
So what are we looking at doing here?
Well, we're just giving him the authorization, you feel comfortable with this, we're gonna authorize him to purchase a truck, and we're gonna authorize Dan to get the best rate at the bank for us. That's what we're doing, we're authorizing him to do it, and authorizing Dan to start the paperwork and borrowing the money.
Yep.
Then what we do is we put it out for, 4 or 5 banks, they give us an interest rate back, after they looked at our bond rating, Dan sends a notice out to all 5 banks, or Susan does, and once we have everything, we give them that, put it out there, give them the terms on it that we're looking at, and they'll come back with us
And this payment will go in next year's budget?
next year's budget.
Next year's.
And my hope was that it was gonna be less than the 30,000 on the excavator, I was trying to do a wash, you know, when I looked at all the numbers, but you know, I don't know.
We don't know that.
I'm hoping. I mean, that is the goal, Dan knows what the goal is, you know, when we talked about it, but.
Oh, the payment was.
Yeah, you know, cause we're gonna have the $30,000 payment anyways, I was just thinking that, well,
We wash from one to the other.
when Chris had me go out there.
Not the same price.
Yeah. When Chris had us go out there, I said, well, let's go back and we'll look at what we owe still on different things, and that's what they did, and they came back and I said, oh geez, we only owe the 30,000 on the excavator for next year, well, if we can take that from reserve, we can start from here and still be under what we're, or maybe somewhere around there. I bet you're within that 30 to 35,000 range. To be honest with you, it makes it, I know borrowing is an issue, but a couple things I just wanna speak about borrowing. I'm not a big borrower, and I'm not a big spender, I'm a big fighter, I'm making sure that we get everything we deserve. I'm a big grant funder guy, and I think we've been successful at that, but when I'm bonding, at some point, you have to do it, in other points you might not have to. But in some of these incidents now with the 2% cap, and if you think that you can continue to keep under it, you're not gonna be able to do it if you don't borrow money.
And the thing is I've
You're not
tried,
gonna do it.
I've tried to stay, we've had these bonds in place, 2 of them, for a while, and I think it's just, instead of, I don't know, I just think it's better to just pay one off and then keep updating our equipment and go.
Almost like leasing your equipment.
It
Exactly.
basically is.
It
I kinda
basically
thought
is.
that's the program that we started a few years ago.
Yeah,
was
it
that
is.
we were going to have a cycle where we were replacing every so many years.
Yes,
We are, but right, things
think
happen,
we're-
right?
I think things happen, and I think maybe at budget time, we may have to bite the bullet. We may have to not stay on the 2% 1 year, and we may have to up the budget. We just may have to
figure it out.
get it where we need to put it, and bite the bullet and get it where we need to put it.
But you gotta remember there too, and I'm gonna face this in the county, and I express this to the governor's people, our people are gonna demand that you be under the 2% tax cap because of the benefit back. And the way it's set up right now, I know we're getting off track here, but if you stayed at 0, your people don't get a rebate check. If you went to 2, they get the difference, what your 0 to the 2 went up, they get that in a rebate check. So if you stayed at 0, nobody, so really, this new incentive doesn't give anybody incentive to, if you can possibly stay at 0, you're not, there's no reason to be it, because you're gonna get the rebate from the 0 to the 2, anything after the 2, you're not gonna get a rebate.
I agree with you, but to stay down there for 2 or 3 years just to get the rebate, then all of a sudden you're gonna have to raise them 15% when you didn't gain anything.
No,
You just totally washed it away.
Well, that's what we did in the county, we went 7 years, 0%, and then had to go.
Yeah, so you might as well give it to them easy.
Feel bad for the guys in charge of that.
But sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet, look them in the eye and say, look, this is what we had to do, we had to do it.
Yeah. Money's cheap right now in terms of borrowing too. I mean, you're right, we have a good
Did we
rate.
get the last one on state contract as well?
Yes.
Well, if you're looking for a resolution, I'll move it. Buy a truck.
Alright, moved by Councilman McDonald,
I'll second it.
seconded by Councilman Hall. Under discussion. Basically, what this is doing is authorizing myself and my staff and Dan to go out to the banks to get the rate and to purchase this truck with the best rate possible with the bank that makes the best price available to us. All we have to do is get prices from them by phone calls on these. So, roll call vote, please. Sorry.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Shelton,
Yes.
Councilman, our Supervisor Douglas,
Yes.
Councilman Depot,
Yes.
and Councilman Hall,
Yes.
and that's duly passed.
Think about it, no worries. I don't want to dispute the 2% tax cap, though. You would never be able to do that, because every 16,000 in the last 2 years is 1 percentage point. You're never going to, what are you gonna raise it?
No, I wouldn't raise it.
No, I think he's
No,
talking
I'm
about-
talking
I think
about
he's talking about
raising
raising up
another 30,000 in the reserve
Replacement
account
cost,
next
our
year.
replacement equipment.
And then you're starting to catch up, you'll get there.
I think you can do, I think we
I know
can
what you're
allow,
talking
well,
about.
here's another thing too, with the Honeywell payment is gonna be gone in a few years too. Then you can actually do that, that's,
No, I wasn't talking
Yeah, but
about
we're gonna
putting the
put
price of the
more
new
to it.
truck in the budget this year. It wasn't going there.
Oh,
I
I
was
was
talking
saying,
about raising
start
the
putting
budget up
$110,000, boy, you're in
$30,000 or
trouble.
$40,000, raising that into a reserve.
I'm with you on that, I thought,
No, I wasn't
Oh.
talking the price of the truck. I was talking about biting the bullet, putting another 30 or 40,000 in a reserve account to get it built.
I agree with that, I'm
To
not,
get it built up so we could,
but usually, you're used
so we
to
could
it.
get that cycle, so it's
Up-
closer.
Yep,
so
I agree.
closer.
I agree, I thought you were saying, well, something
No,
they gonna
no,
just bite
I
the
would
bullet and
not.
put $110,000
I
in
wouldn't even think of that, that's as bad as you went abound in it.
Okay,
That's, no, I wouldn't do that.
okay, alright, I get it.
I'm
that
sorry,
would be
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
You just scared me, cause I'm thinking, oh, that's
No, I wasn't.
15% right
I
there.
wouldn't,
Gotta work tomorrow.
I wouldn't do that.
Me too.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Early.
I'm sorry you misunderstood.
Okay, alright. Alright, where are we at?
Letter of authority.
Letter of authorization for the box culverts that I, did with FEMA.
Yep.
There's two box culverts, one that were, they're both breached under the back, under the concrete on the John Fountain Road as well as the J Mountain Road. FEMA road projects, they're large projects. We're gonna be looking at, signing, letting Randy sign the letter of authorization to go out for engineering on these two box culverts. FEMA's paying, 75%, we're trying to get the other covered on the community rising money, right, Randy?
Either community rising and through, if we have anything left over from NRCS.
Right.
This is the one by the Union Golf?
Yes, that one there is failing, and, I had FEMA look at it, the engineers looked at that one, and they looked at the J Mountain Road one, and they're both, they wrote projects for both of them.
I believe, you know, the committee's looking at all the culvert replaces that are needed for Jay and Keene, and I believe they're gonna be considered priority projects, so I don't see an issue whether it's costing us funding. I believe it will be part of the $3 million that were allocated. I think it would be, fair to say that it would be covered there, and I did meet with Dave Reckon last week to see whatever we had left over from the $500,000 county grant that we got from the DEC, Department of State, for debris removal and those sort of things, and some things that we did between two towns. And there might be, but I can't guarantee it, so I would say that I think we're in good shape to get the other 25% covered. I have to agree with you. I think either through one of those programs that we'll get it covered. But I think eventually you're feeling you're gonna have to do it anyways. Right now it's
You're gonna have to do it.
guaranteed 75%.
Guaranteed 75%.
And I honestly believe we'll get the other through the CRP program. So right now we just need the authorization for me to sign that. And Chris did come to the last CRZ meeting and gave a presentation about the culverts in Jay, and it was,
And
well
they
received.
actually added a few more, and some of those are ones that, for instance, we're gonna get 2 inches of rain, well, we already automatically know where to go. Those are the ones that I concentrated on to make bigger and better, so that maybe we don't have to go to those particular ones right off the bat. Maybe they'll flow better. One was a Nugent Road, so that floods over, we can't get to the water plant. One was, the Hazeline Road. There was one on the Grove Road, up on the Grove Road. There was one on, that I think is starting to fail, which I'm gonna inspect this year, which is on, Sable Drive, just before Kitzbühel. I think that's failing, but I'm gonna look at it. There was several of them that I'm looking at right now. So, and those are in that CRZ report.
and if you think about it, all the times that we've had to do repairs to those roads because the culverts weren't large enough and weren't proper enough,
Exactly.
in the long run, it's gonna pay for itself, even if we did have to pay the 25%.
Right.
I mean, we've gotten FEMA to pay for all those. Well, in the past years, it wasn't all, it was Irene's 100%, but in other years, it was 75%, we had to pay that 25% to do the repair. So I think in the long run, it's the best interest of us, and I feel very confident that it will get, the other 25% will get funded.
So you need a motion?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Moved by Councilman Hall, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Schultz, another discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion's carried. What else we got, Chris?
I'm done. I think,
No, you need approval to go to
oh, yeah,
Albany for grassroots,
yeah.
for roads and bridges, March 4th.
March fourth, overnight, one night.
Yep.
I'll move it.
Moved by Councilman McDonald, seconded by
I'll second.
Councilwoman Shelton on the discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carried. There are a lot of supervisors going on that this year.
I know.
I can't, but I'm
I
in,
can't get.
March 2nd through the 5th, I'm in Washington for
Okay.
the Association of Counties as Supervisor for
Slide
everybody.
this year.
Okay. Okay, clerk to the supervisor, financial report, that's not there. Single audit update, Caitlin wasn't here again yesterday. We're getting closer and closer to finalizing this, and,
It was it last month.
I know it, it's a lot to it, you know, and unfortunately, we gotta do another one again next year, you know, because you get over a certain amount of federal
It must
funds.
be going a little smoother, I mean, we just had one done, right?
It is, but
Susan
it's,
knows right where everything is.
and next year will be easier, because, hopefully we, have the same company come back and do that single audit, and, but Caitlin's been good, you know, we've spent a lot of time here yesterday with her, so, just a lot of work, anytime you get over 450 some odd thousand, you have to do a single audit, anytime you get over that in federal funding. So we've been successful in getting the money, but then you have to do the audit, and we will be having to do one next year. Long-term plans for guardrails, we did that, executive session, we did that, planning board appointment,
You did?
we,
Yes, you did.
Land deal discussion.
yeah, on the planning board one, we're gonna go on March on that, I'll talk to you about that one, something I believe we need to talk about at another time. It might require executive session on that. Events, 25th annual Missing Children's Tournament is March 6th through 9th.
Randy, on that, I'm not going to do the Ford Mission Children's
Did
Tournament.
you see the guy called?
He did call, but the problem is I got a lot of complaints last year about the smell. It stays for 3 weeks, and I don't feel,
Okay.
I don't want people complaining about the smell.
No, you know what, we'll buff it with the buffer,
And we'll do it
and
after.
we'll shut it down for a couple days before the tournament, and then
Yeah.
it'll be ready to go, and we won't.
I just don't, last year we did it before, and I got a lot of complaints about the smell.
Oh, yeah, because it didn't dry.
Randy,
Yep.
Kept the smell in there as well.
up here under the sewer biller, you skipped all of those.
Oh, yes.
Number B,
Oh, yes.
unfortunately.
Yep.
I was thinking about what they're saying up and down.
Yeah, I
All
probably.
right, yeah, she's got quite a few here, okay. Well, first of all, we gotta do, accept Carol's report that she gave to us on the sewer billing for 2014, the quarterly billing at $18,725. Somebody make a motion?
I will.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Shelton, seconded by Councilman McDonald, under discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, any opposed, motion's carried.
Yeah, skip that second, I'm in there.
There you go, we'll talk about this, we'll talk about this, talk about this. What did I do with the rest of them? Am I missing them somewhere? Is it over here?
You got water,
Yeah,
Dee?
I have water.
Let me get you, oh,
I have some, thank you. This is one of those tickles in the throat that, yeah, I've been in this room too long, see.
Oh, here they are. All right, approval for Thomas McDonald, all civil for except property was purchased by Essex County December 6th. This was a no-brainer, it was a buyout property. Ask the committee to make changes to water and sewer billing to reflect new owner for current and future billing. Want to make that motion?
Yeah.
Moved by Councilman Depot, second by Councilwoman Shelton, under discussion. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. One abstain.
And all of them.
Okay. What else we got?
I
Billing?
would too.
You skip John that one.
Yep, I'm gonna come back to that one. Motion to accept the following Tom and J turn on off fees for Sierra Sereno at Hollywood Movie Theater. Somebody make that motion? Moved by Councilman Depot, second by Councilman Hall, under discussion. in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed, motion's carried. The next one is the property, that we talked about the Tops property. We asked for more documentation to come from the owner, not just Tops, it had to come from John Patino, they did send us a letter, so we wanna make a motion to accept that.
I'll move it.
I have a question about that, whether we should be billing a tenant, giving authorization to bill to the
We
tenant
don't bill
rather than
tenants.
We,
We don't build,
The-
just
the-
the
the
person that owns the
homeowner.
property.
the property owner.
Right.
Requesting that we send the bill to Tops rather than the property
We'll
owner.
send a copy to both the property owner and to them. I don't see an issue with it when it's requested by the property owner, when they got the lease with them, but if you don't wanna do that, then we should have told that before we told them that they had to give us the property from, the letter from John Patton, that we authorized last month.
I think as long as you send one thing to
As long as they both know.
What we went away from the meeting last month is saying that send John Patton a letter, and if he gives permission, we were gonna do it. Now, so we told them that, now you want me to tell them that we're not gonna give them permission, cause
That John Patton should send us a letter requesting the rates to be dropped. We didn't say that to give them the authority to request they be billed directly. That John Patton should be making the request, not them. Because that's what we left the meeting saying.
Yep, because on this letter, all he's doing is give permission for Tops to receive the future water and sewer bills from Tops Mars, not asking for the rate reduction, you're right. Okay.
I don't think that it was just proper for us to be sending a tenant bill, should be going to the
so
property
they,
owner.
they were asking because it was a vacant lot, they
Yep.
were asking for a reduction.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
So
be
what do we
sending
put
it.
on that?
Okay, here's the thing though, I wanna clear this up, I wanna be very clear. If I send them a letter, I ask, direct Carol to send them a letter saying that John Patino has to request a rate reduction. Are we gonna refuse the rate reduction? Because I'm not gonna go through all this hassle if we're gonna refuse the rate reduction. That came up last meeting too, I'm not gonna, so if that's the case, we just send John Patino a letter saying we're gonna refuse the rate reduction.
I won't refuse the rate reduction, but I'm going to refuse sending a tenant to future bills. I'm sending it to the home, the property owner, not to the tenant.
That wasn't what was said last month though.
Yeah, but that's what they're requesting there.
No, I know, and that was said last month, too, about all future billing going to John Patino, to Tops Market.
I don't remember that, I remember them applying to,
They were inquiring about the rate.
Right.
the rate they were requiring, and you had sent them back a letter telling them that they wanted to have the property owner send a request, they wanted a rate request, a rate request.
Okay.
Now they're.
I guess my question-
Wanting the billing sent directly to them rather than to John Patton.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna send them a letter saying, I'm for whatever, because this is taking a lot of time for nothing. And when I'm the one doing all the letters, it takes a lot of time. So I'm gonna send them a letter saying we're not gonna grant them permission to, the bills are gonna still go to John Patino, and if he wants a rate reduction, send us a letter. Simple as that, because it's too much work, Arch. I've got millions of dollars I'm fighting to get into this town, and I can't
Well,
find
I
it for
just
50
don't think,
bucks.
I don't know
can't do
that
it.
it's legal for us to send a tenant a bill for somebody else's property.
I'm gonna send a letter that I'm not in favor of it, simple as that.
If you wanna do it that way, it's fine with me, but I just don't see where that would be legal for, I mean, I wouldn't want somebody sending,
The tenant is requesting it. The tenant is requesting it, the landowner, the owner of the property is authorizing the permission to do it. And why we would have a problem with that, I don't understand. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna send John a letter, CC Tops, and say, if you want a rate reduction, it has to come from them, but all bills are gonna go to John Patino. Is that, everybody fine with that?
sounds good.
Let's do that in the resolution, all right? I'll move that we send John Patton a letter saying that all bills are still gonna go to him, CC Tops, and if he wants a rate reduction, send us another letter asking for the rate reduction for vacant lot. Somebody
Okay.
second that?
Yep.
Second by Councilman Hall, under discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, any opposed? Motion's carried. All right,
What about going to, New York City? Do you have to have a resolution on that, those that are going?
we did,
Good.
that last month.
Okay, all right, I just wanna make sure.
board comments, Tommy?
I got one thing. I wanna offer up a congratulatory resolution for, Bill and Babe Trumbull. On December 31st, 2013, they celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary.
What was the date, Tommy?
December 31st,
How many?
60.
60 years.
They were married in 1953.
And I still think
And
we're-
Bill, who was 93, said, if my wife knew I was gonna live this long, she wouldn't have married me.
Probably right there.
That's Billy, so he's a-
So moved by Councilman McDonald, unanimous second?
Unanimous second.
Thank you. Anything else, Tommy?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
Okay,
Do you need this one?
Yeah, I think you got the message.
No, that's because that's a real name.
yes.
Cool, right?
Amy, anything?
Just
Councilwoman Shaw?
sad and happy that you're staying with us, and we appreciate everything that you do for the town.
Thanks, Amy. I appreciate that.
We'd like to see you go a little further. I think you can do a lot more for us in the North Country. When you're ready.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Very much so.
That's it. I'm done.
Archie? Sherry?
Just wish you all a safe trip to New York and get back and lots of new ideas, stuff to offer the board with them.
Thank you. I have a couple things I just want to bring up quickly. I know that's, sometimes it gets frustrating for some of the local people that want to bid on projects, and if they come in as a higher bidder and they can't get awarded from it from the town or the county, and they say, why can't you keep it local? Well, alls one would have to do is look at the worldwide news last night and see what happened in New Orleans and why the mayor is going to jail for at least 10 years. I will not break the rules, I will not break the law to award things to
That's
somebody that came in
I saw
because
that.
they're local. And that's why I do the way I do things, and I'm sorry, but I know there's people that are offended that when they see the outside company coming in, if they were the lower bidder, and there was a lot of work after Irene, for the county, towns, and that's why we do the things legally bidding, and I know it offends some people, because local bidders want the bid, but that right there is a perfect example why municipalities have to toe the line, and I'm very proud of why we told the line in town of Jay, in Essex County. You won't ever see that happen, I can guarantee you that.
You worked in the prison, you don't wanna spend any more
That's
time.
right, I worked there 15 years, and told me to go home when the gate closed. The second thing is, I would appreciate if we could really get back onto the phone system. We need a phone system in this town to operate properly. I was working on a $2 million project the other day and got disconnected. It can't operate anymore, can't do it. We got a 29-cent phone system and about $52 million worth of projects we're working on. Can't do it. I'm sorry. You've got to provide me the right information, the right materials to do my job
I'm
properly.
willing to work hard on it again and get people in and go through the thing, but last time,
I can't do it. I can't. My staff, he knows we
No,
cannot operate with the phone system that we have. Can't do it.
I can't even get not even half of my messages.
It's-
They're in this phone somewhere and you can't get back to them. Then people are saying, well, she doesn't call us back. How can you call them back when you don't know who it is? It's
Can we go
not
cellular?
working.
Huh?
Can we go cellular?
Well, it's
that's it.
You can't get cell
it's tough. You
system
can get it
in
here, but sometimes it's tough in
In the
there.
office.
Can't get it in my
So
office.
you can get it in here, or you can go out the back door. But it's
Or you
like-
go in front
Can't
of
do
it
that.
and get it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
All right, so I would appreciate some help with that, because I'm sorry to complain, but I can't operate like that anymore. I can't do it. We've gotta figure something out.
And we're answering
Who's on the
everybody's
building committee,
calls too.
Archie
Archie,
and Jerry.
Jerry, if you guys can take 1 minute with me afterwards, Carol had talked to me about some things down for the Missing Children Tournament, I want to run by you guys.
Okay.
That way maybe you can run it by Betsy real quick, maybe.
Yep. The last thing I had, yes, the congressional run, I did consider it, I did put a lot of thought and energy into it. You know, it just wasn't the right timing for me and my family, and I appreciate, you know,
There will be
the
the
people that were,
There will be
reached out to me,
time,
but
though.
we'll see. I'm happy where I'm at.
We know
There's
you're-
a lot more
we're
to
happy you're
accomplish,
here.
but
We're
thank you
happy
very
you're
much.
here.
So, with that said, B, did you have anything?
I started to say something, I don't know what it was. It was something about the phones that you can't hear good on, and we're answering tax collector constantly all the time. Calling the courts, call my number,
Mine too.
Can't get other things, like you said, you cannot
If we
get
had a
other
phone
things
system
done.
that was, that eliminated some
coming in,
lines and it says if
And
you're
they call
trying to get.
that one for stuff for Susan, I mean, and we can't,
There's tying up the
transfer.
lines, people call all the time from state agencies, federal agencies,
Yeah.
and say we can't get through to you because the lines are all tied up.
or
and
the
it's-
people aren't returning calls and you don't even get them, so it's crazy, I agree with you, it's
Needs to be
frustrating.
fixed. It can't work. We've got too many millions of dollars worth of projects out there, and I hate to say it, but it's a 29-cent phone system. It's horrible. With that said, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's, let's call it 10 o'clock, and, moved by Councilman Hall, second by Councilman Shaw, and we are adjourned. All in favor?